Whether if you're wondering if it's worth buying one of these partners out of the shop, or if you're having last minute doubts about the selection you think you want to buy, solving that problem today. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and let's get right in here. We're going to be going over the partners that you can buy out of the Memory Archive shop. And I'm going to be telling you guys which ones I think are well worth your time, money, and resources of saving up 300 of this Radiant Hero currency. Now, the first one we'll be touching on is gonna be Yuki's, short and sweet. Also, as we get in here, if there's a 4-star alternative, I'm gonna be talking about that card for the most part. Now, this is based around Yuki's kit, and no other character really uses it that well. And funny enough, especially for the build we put together for Yuki, go find it on the channel. The 4-star card that deals with 0 and 1 costs is like infinitely better than this card in most circumstances. On its own, there's not really anyone else who in the game can use this card. It's based around drawing inspiration. It's based around the character drawing their own cards. So you can't even put this on a striker and pair them with someone like Nia to just draw the cards for them. They have to draw with their own cards. And then the ego skill is a joke. It's 3 EP. It takes a card from your hand, puts it into the deck, and then you draw one of that person's cards. So it technically doesn't even draw you a card. We have, 4-star cards that are partners that have 2 EP draw a card, or 2 EP draw a specific card. And this one should have been like, put a card back, draw 2 of the combatants cards. I don't know why it's like this. I wouldn't pick this though. We've already talked about this one for way too long. Astera is another striker card that does have a 4-star alternative. It's not Lilith, it's the other one. It's like the big rabbit guy, but it also deals with playing 2-cost cards and boosting their damage. The thing that Astera will do for you though, if you are in a team composition where you can have a big hand, right? You have a lot of card draw in some circumstances. Maybe you're playing with like Khalipe as well, with someone like Haru or some other character that has a bunch of cards that are strikers that want to play 2-cost cards. The ego skill for 2 EP can give you up to plus 200% damage to the next attack card, which is a whopper out there, right? It caps at 10. So you get a couple cards in your hand, you have some 1s, you have a couple of 2s, you pop the 2 EP Light of Arc skill, and you just go in there and you want to get that one big shot. Is that like a necessity for a lot of characters out there? Not really. Light of Arc is good for that reason though. But there is a couple of other ones. If you want to use the 4-star that deals with boosting up the damage of 2 costs, you can do that as well. So this one is basically, do you want to make your 2-cost DPS like Haru the greatest thing that you can be? Then you could pick this one up. Outside of that though, let's move on to Scarlet here, which is another striker. Okay, now this one is based around the combatant continuously using their own cards. So this is for the likes of someone like Mei Lin, who can use a 0 cost, draw 2 more 0 costs out of the deck, and use those to do more damage. This is a very powerful card, but it has a very big downside as well. And the powerful effect is that it gives an absolute crap ton of bonus damage, right? 15%, stacking 2 times is 30. And then once you activate focus from playing 2 or more, you get an additional 20% for a total of 50% at refinement 1, which is crazy. And then you also have 3 EP for binding knots, all right, which is going to do a little bit of damage. But then your combatant is going to get a damage percent bonus to attack card damage amount for each buff on them. So this will probably be around 5, 6, 7 a lot of the times for each attack card in that turn. So this really wants to be played on a character who's playing a lot of low, efficient, to the ground attack cards in a single turn. The downside of this one though is if you are playing in a team and you notice that your play style and the way that you're playing your cards is you'll play one character's card and then like maybe 2 of your DPS's card, and then you need to draw more cards or generate more mana or something, or more AP. You have to play someone else's card and you go back to playing the DPS's cards in your turn. You're going to be continuously breaking this passive over and over and over. So if that's the team that you're using your striker in, you're going to want to avoid this one. However, if you're just drawing a bunch of cards, making a bunch of AP, shoving the DPS's cards off to the side, and then you just chain them all at the end, you're going to get the full benefit off of this thing, and it's going to be an absolute crazy card for you to pick up there, if not one of the best striker cards for someone who just repeatedly plays their own stuff. Marianne is something we don't really need to talk about that much. It is another card here that is just, listen, it's a striker card class. You have to ravage the enemies. It gives weak point damage. You know, it always applies as weak point. It's cool. It's a nice little utility card. I think it's good as an all-around generic card a lot of the times, but unless something's ravaged, you're not getting a damage bonus off this card. It's cool that your basic cards always apply weak point damage and have weakness damage, but it's basic cards only. I was trying to be as nice as I could on this card. I think this card is pretty much a travesty in a lot of situations. I'm sure there's some I spam my basic cards and my weak point breaks done. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't pick this one. Any of the other ones we talked about, like Scarlet and Asteria, are definitely way above something like Marianne. Zetta, this is an instinct card. This card is basically good on one character, and it's absolutely insane for that character. If you are a Khalipe man, right, or Khalipe woman out there, you're Khalipe maining, then this is the card for you. This bumps and makes Khalipe even better than she was before. Boosts their damage, boosts the shield amount they give. For the celestial cards they have by 25%, has 2 EP, draw the highest cost card in your deck. So a lot of the times you're drawing, you know, one of your celestial retain cards, or you're drawing like Vulcan launch, whatever it's called, off of Khalipe for this. It's insane. The downside is it's all instinct based stuff, right? Instinct damage, and then also you can get like higher, you know, shield amount if you're just shielding and stuff. But it's really for the combination of all of this stuff. This is Khalipe's card. If you want to make Khalipe as good as humanly possible, this is insane. It's better than the other 4 stars as well, in my opinion, because it bumps her damage up, it bumps her shield amount up, and it gives her a way to be even more self-sufficient with card draw. It's an absolute sane partner and is one of the best ones you can choose to pick up from here. Now, moving off from Zetta, we have Erica, who is, well, the other Vanguard partner, right? This is counterattack damage, right? When you use a skill or upgrade card, you gain counterattack. It's fine. It's there. You can put it on Magna. You can do some counterattack stuff. I think Magna, more or less, is already sort of self-sufficient enough a lot of the times. But if you want to bump her up even more, you want to pick your 3, you want to spend your 300 points on making Magna a little bit better. You're a Magna main. You can go for that here. Outside of that, I don't think this one is worth picking up, so I would avoid Erica for the most part. Tina's coming in as a ranger. Extra attack damage, 15%, 25% extra attack damage from targeting cards. That's crazy. Wow, this is a lot of extra attack damage. And then you realize that like it's order attack damage for a ranger. And you're like, whoa, what ranger order characters? What ranger order characters should I be picking up? What is it that we're doing? It's for Hugo. All right. If you're a Hugo main and you want to pump this man to the moon, then yes, 1000% pick that up for Hugo if you're trying to max that man out, because he is going to cause problems in my daily life as we record this. But it's a Hugo card. Tina's good for him. It's insane. He benefits off of everything. He's all extra attack damage, and he loves Tina. So if you're trying to max him out, pick that one up. Marin is the other ranger one. All right. Extra attack damage of cards generated by the skill's combatant's abilities increased by 15%. So we're generating bullets, right? And that's going to buff those up. When a skill card's used for the first time, a 25% damage to the extra attacks for 1 turn. So any sort of bullet ranger, Marin's going to be very good for. You can use this one. You can pick this one up. You'll be very happy. It's got a very nice EP skill as well. 200% damage to all enemies, and then draw a skill card. Anytime I can turn EP into drawing cards, I love doing that a lot of the times, especially off of my supports in my partners. This is going to be a fantastic thing. You're not limited to a specific type, like with the Hugo only card we just talked about. So you can use this for basically any bullet ranger that exists now or will exist in the future. But if you're not using a bullet ranger, probably want to skip that one. We also have Kiara, which is going to be a hunter card here. If there's 10 or more cards in the graveyard, the assigned combatant's attack card damage is increased by 15%. And when a card is discarded for the first time, guess what? We have the bullet hunter card. We're coming in. If you're a bullet hunter in the future, 25% amount to attack cards for 1 turn. We like this. This one does have, funny enough, it does actually have a little bit of a standoff with some of the lower partners for this, like Yuri. Early on, you're going to have a bunch of dupes for Yuri, and the combatant attack increased by 8%, as well as shuffle getting damage bonus increased by 8%. You're going to be able to max this out with multiple dupes of Yuri very fast, and it has a 3 EP draw 2 on it. Yuri for a 3-star is actually kind of cracked. a lot of the times for hunters, because you're just going to have like an R5 version of this, and it has the draw 2 on it, which is phenomenal. 3 to draw 2 is phenomenal. And you get the damage % bonus. So if you pair Yuri onto a hunter that is in a party where they can draw a lot of cards, empty the deck really fast, so they shuffle, you're going to get the full bonus effect of the attack and the damage boost. And the ego skill here helps you get through your deck to shuffle faster, meaning that Yuri is a very cracked 3-star. The only thing you're going to be missing is the damage stats from later on down the road of having a 5-star partner. That being said, early on, I wouldn't rush for Kiara. Later on though, when you're able to consistently dump a bunch of hunter bullets and stuff into your graveyard, right? And you want the damage bonus, you want to do a little bit of extra damage for 3 EP, add it to your combo, do 200% damage, and then, you know, you generate a crap ton of bullets, put them all in the graveyard, do like a 500% mod hit or something here. You can do that as well, and you'll be able to consistently get the full damage bonus amount off of the passive a lot quicker with the 10 in the graveyard. Early on, it's very hard to do. Later on, once you have your builds together, it's very strong, and you could think about using this one over Yuri, but Yuri at the end of the day still has 3 EP draw 2, which is kind of cracked. So Kiara, a little bit more damage for min-maxing. Yuri, very easy to use, very easy to get dupes of, and has card draw on it. So think about that. Janet here is the other partner one, and it's like the crit chance increasing 1 or less partner with, you know, bullet stuff. It's basically, I don't know, it's just the all bullet hunter. It's the all bullet hunter all the time. The thing I dislike about Janet when I compare it to Kiara is a lot of the times, like, we can put the bullets in the graveyard, discard them, use them for effects, use them for shuffle, stuff like that, and get a damage bonus here. Whereas Janet gives us a little bit of crit rate and then gives damage bonus specifically to the bullets and doesn't do anything with the payoff cards. So if you've seen any of the stuff we talked about with like Luke versus Renoa, where like Renoa has like 3 cards that all get big damage bonuses for having a bunch of bullets discarded and doing the bullet hunter mechanic and gimmick, whereas Luke just likes to make them and use them, and he's got like a card you can use as a payoff card, like 250 mod, whereas like Renoa's like, I have like 3 cards that are like 400 500 mod, right, on good days or higher. And Janet's not going to buff the payoff cards, but Kiara will. Kiara's about buffing those payoff cards, whereas Janet's just about buffing the bullets. And the bullets themselves, a lot of the times, you know, you're not going to benefit from a lot of the buffs and debuffs and stuff we can do in the game, based on the support you're using, etc. So I like Kiara way more than I like Janet. And we're going to be talking about Noelle as well, which is the controller partner real quick. This partner is specifically just for Orlea and Orlea alone. It's a controller partner, doesn't do anything else for anyone outside of Orlea. You could run it on another character that isn't typically a retained character, I guess, just for the ego skill to activate the retained characters of everything. Like, you could put this technically on Nia and run like a Nia Orlea whatever barrel retain deck or something, and run Noelle on your Nia and run Noelle on your Orlea itself and have 2 of this ego skill. But outside of that, there's not a real reason to have this on anyone outside of Orlea for the most part, because no one else is really benefiting as a controller from the passive up top. So there's that. And then we have Bria as well as the Psionic partner. This one, if you're not picking up the Battle Pass version of the 5-star Psionic partner, there's Bria and there's the Battle Pass one. And as far as damage dealing partners go, this one is absolutely insane. You generate cards. All of the Psionic void characters we have right now want to do this. They want to generate cards, whether it's Shadow Daggers or whether it's Futilities with Kayron. For the most part, those are going to buff that up 30%. If you generate a status element card for the first time, you'll get another attack card damage buff on top of that. And then we also have the EP skill here, which exhausts all of the cards, okay, in the discard pile. It increases damage of the combatant's attack cards by 10% for each exhausted card for 1 turn. So if you have a bunch of cards that are status element cards you've dumped in the graveyard from discarding them and drawing cards with like Cassius or something, or cycling cards that way, you can pop this and get an even larger damage % bonus. If you're looking for a Psionic DPS partner, and you want the best of the best, it's this one by far. It is the reason why I even did any pulls on that banner. It was trying to get Bria, didn't get her. If you're a Psionic main, you want to bump your Tressel's damage to the sky, you want to bump Kayron to the sky, this is the one for you to pick up there. At the end of the day, which ones do I think are the best? I think the highest value ones are Zetta if you're Khalipe. This makes her like, she's already insane, right? This just makes her like even better for some reason, like way better. Just percentage damage bonuses to everything and card draw, crazy. Bria for Psionics is insane because it gives so much damage percent bonus and allows you to do some weird combo off potential as well in certain scenarios with certain teams with the ego skill, which you can't really replicate with any of the other partners in the game. This is a lot of damage on this card there as well. If you're looking for something a little bit more, you know, fine, if you're looking for something like Mei Lin, if you're thinking about building like a second team based around Mei Lin for, I don't know, for doing the tower or whatever, you haven't done that yet, or you're just trying to put together a solid second team, I would advocate for picking up Scarlet specifically for Mei Lin because they're so easy to use together that you're not gonna feel bad about that. With that said, let me know what you guys are picking down below. I wish I could pick my girl Bria, but I've been using it for pulls, so I don't even know. Wish me luck in the future. I'll catch you guys in the next one.